Hello, hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. James here, as ever, for today's video, all about how to get into a career in accounting, or maybe we should put it, how to start your accounting journey to be a qualified accountant. Well, you're in luck because you have two qualified accountants that are going to give you an open access, small little recording now from our experiences. Whether you're starting out at 16, 17 years old, or maybe you're thinking of a career transition later on in life, 40, 50, I've even taught 60-year-olds. Feel free to leave us a comment at the bottom, any questions you have. But Rebecca, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Rebecca, and you might know me from this finance tutorial. So I am an AAT, ICB, and ACA qualified individual. And yes, I often have conversations with individuals who are looking to get into bookkeeping and accounting as a profession. And so we've got lots and lots to talk to you about today.
Yes. Oh, indeed. And for context, my name's James, in case you've never clicked on one of my videos. I went down the university route, got some exemptions, went and worked in practice, done all the experience, and then qualified ACCA, and then went down, done my master's on it as well afterwards. So we've got a very good array of talent here today that we can answer anything. But let's kick us off as to maybe if you're starting, like you're just finishing school, for example, 16, 17, 18 years old, and you think, oh, I want to be an accountant. How can you go about it, Rebecca?
Okay, so at that age, there's quite a few different options available to you. So you could go on to college. So if you're 16, you could go on to college and do the apprenticeship scheme and undertake the AAT that way. The other way is you could find an employer. So if you actually search on the AAT website, which I think is www.aat.org.uk, could be wrong.
Right. We'll link it below, it's fine.
But on there, you could find a list of approved employers, and they are looking for individuals who are, wanting to undertake the AAT, and they're providing student contracts. So they pay you, they teach you on the job, and you study the AAT. So that's an option to you. The other way is that you self-study. So you could go ahead and get a job in a different career, different industry, and you could self-fund those studies, or you might be eligible towards a grant of some kind towards those studies. So plenty of different options. You can study in the classroom, you can study online, you can study virtually, etc. But yeah, plenty of options at that point.
Yeah, spot on. And that applies to whether you're 16, 17, 18, or if you're changing careers in the future, maybe you've worked in marketing or sales in the past, and you think, oh, maybe accounting, I've heard it's decent on there. And to start off, the options, which you've probably done some research online, is you'd have seen some of the big professional bodies like ACCA, ICAW, or CIMA. And the bit I always find where students get in touch with me is a case of, James, do I start off on the first ACCA, ICAW, or CIMA exam, or should I do AAT to start off, which is the Association for Accounts Technicians, do those exams, and then you can transition on to whichever professional body from there. But all different routes lead to the same outcome of a qualified accountant. But Rebecca, what are your thoughts and from your experience on that?
I would say, if given the opportunity, if even I'll tell you a little bit about my experience. So I actually did the AAT for 3 years. I did level 2, level 3, and level 4, and then I went on to do the ACA for another 3 years. So there's the option of doing it that way, or the option of going to university, going to college, and then undertaking one of the professional qualifications, which would be your CIMA, your ACCA, ACA, etc. But even if I had the choice to go back, and I did go to college, by the way, so I could have skipped the AAT altogether if I wanted to. I wouldn't have done, and going back, I wouldn't have done, because the AAT covers so many different topics. So it prepares you for, working in a role, in a commercial role. So working in a company in the finance function, looking at costing, etc., looking at manufacturing. And it also equally provides you the skill set for you to work in practice. So covering the likes of, the trial balance, financial reporting, financial statements, tax, etc. And on the other side of the fence, if you're somebody who wants to open up your own bookkeeping or accountancy practice, it also gives you that skill set. So I think as you progress towards the more higher qualifications, you're looking at very, very I'd say definitely with the ACA, you're looking at more of a I can't think what the word is, more of a reporting sort of
Mhm.
looking at IFRS standards, looking at UK GAAP, etc. So it's very technical. Whereas it's not, I would say, it's very difficult to find a real world practice example for every single example that you would cover under ACA compared
Mm.
to the AAT, which, is very relatable
Yeah.
to working in practice, working in a finance function, running your own bookkeeping accounts practice. So I think even going back, I would have still studied the AAT for those reasons.
Nice. Yeah, well, we've got people who'll be listening to this going, James, I'm really not sure which route to go down. And AAT or the university option, I mean, I teach at university myself. It's a case of you're getting people thinking as to, is accounting a route for me? And that is
Mm.
one of the first sort of steps that you could look into, whether it be doing your AAT, maybe through an apprenticeship or self-studying or going to university as well, trying out the modules there, where I get students who come to me every year and say, James, obviously, mega cool guy and all the rest of that. But then then they go, I'm really sorry, but accounting is not for me. You say, cool, that's all right. You at
Yeah,
least know
fine.
the nuts and bolts of how a company works and the income statements, balance sheets, assets, all the rest of it. And they might go down the business consulting route, or they might go to marketing, or they might go into psychology, whatever it may be. But at least that is one of the routes to get into being an accountant as your first step. And generally speaking, it's the sort of AAT or an equivalent sort of qualification, or you go to the sort of university route and then see if the
Mm.
courses on there are for you.
And not just that, I get asked a lot of questions. I don't know about you, James, but
Yeah.
why would you study the AAT and then study the ACA, the
Mm.
ACCA SEMA? So why does the AAT differ to those qualifications, and why does it differ to studying at university? And what I always say to people is that the AAT basically gives you the foundational blocks. You think of a
Yeah.
pyramid, the bottom layer is the AAT. Whereas if you want to, become more of a specialist, a consultant, etc., or you want to deal with purely financial reporting, then the ICAW, for example, is a very good route. Or if you want to go on to do auditing, etc., the next route is the ACCA or ICAW, for
Mm.
example. So
Yeah.
it
Oh,
sort of gives
exactly.
you, if you just look at the AAT, you've got 100 different roads, more than 100 different roads actually, plus that you could go down in your career before you make that, okay, I want to specialize in this one area sort of decision.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a very good building block to the
Yeah,
rest of your
well, it
career.
gives you a try, because some people are watching this thinking, oh, I might fancy accounting, James, but then what if I don't like it? And just with
Mm,
like AAT or if university route, whichever way you want to go, it's a case of you're going to get a sort of try before you buy on it, that you can dip your toe in the water, try some modules. You're going to have to sit exams, I'm afraid, on there as well. There's no getting away from that. So
again.
if you're not an exam person, probably it's not for you on there, because unfortunately the exams only get harder. But it's a case of give it a try, give it a whirl, and if it's your bag, then cool stuff. Carry on your journey. But if not, you're still going to have some good financial skills that even if you go into consulting or anything like that, you're going to have to do budgets, understanding about the assets of an organization on that. So it's just to give
Yeah.
you a bit of flexibility as well.
And I think one of the great things about the AAT is that there are so many additional resources online that you have access to around the AAT. So you've obviously got myself and James that you could speak to, ask questions to in the comments, and we'll always help. We spend a lot of time helping students, and we always
Mm.
will do. But you've also got, the likes of you've got podcasts, you've got
Yeah.
free study materials that you can get hold of around the AAT. And the AAT themselves have a portal that students have access to that has, mock exams on there. It has
Mm.
what they call those flashcards, online
Yeah.
flashcards that you can click on and test your knowledge, etc. And it also breaks down topics online. So you've got the option of having a manual textbook, which is what me and James had, or you've got the material online. So if you're on the go and you're on the train, you can access that material on the go. So there's all sorts of different support available to you if you're studying the AAT.
Oh, definitely. And a real good thing, which I wish I'd done more of, especially earlier on in my accounting journey on it, should we say, is attending just online webinars so that
Mm,
I know PwC, KPMG, the professional bodies, they put on free webinars that you can sign up for free. You can hear from people who've worked in that sector and area, and you can ask them
yeah,
direct questions on there. So good for it as well. And it can just save you so much time to say, you know what, he's worked in this for 15, 20 years. This is what it's like. Does that really sound like what I do? Maybe not on there, but
and
Rebecca, are there any other mega points that we've got to get on record to help someone in the start of their accounting journey if they think it's going to be a career for them?
yeah, I would just say, as James says, just building on the back of that, there, you know, if somebody was to ask me what a bookkeeper or accountant is, I can tell you, I can give you a very generalized overview of what bookkeeping and accountancy is. However, I can't stress this enough, there are that many different career routes that you can go down. You can go into auditing, forensic accounting, medical accounting, you become a consultant, a financial planner, all sorts of things after you've studied the AAT. The options are literally endless. And I think we're very lucky in our industry that we can speak to people who've been there and done that, who will give you the time of day, which again is rare in other industries,
Yeah,
in my experience, who will sit down with you and say, well, this is what it's really like. So, if you don't like audit for whatever reason, there's always other options available to you. So it's not the end of the road. You could take your career really anywhere. So, and I think we're very lucky in that regards, because I don't think, again, you can do that with other industries necessarily,
yeah,
just with that one qualification. So
yeah.
yeah, definitely something to bear in mind if you're looking to get into the
Yeah.
industry.
Oh, 100%. And the world's becoming more global every year now. And if you've got a global qualification, that who knows where your life's going to take you in the future, that it
Yeah.
is recognized overseas as well, and it can help if you're transitioning on there. But there are so many other different areas, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people who are watching this going, oh, but James, Rebecca, could you talk about this? If you have any other questions, guys, leave us a comment at the bottom. Myself or Rebecca will more than happily get in touch. And you can also subscribe to both of our channels. I'll put all the details below. Some fantastic free resources will link there. And I hope you found today helpful, that maybe you leave us a comment as to, thank you for the tips, James and Rebecca. It's really helped me to now think, is it for me? Is it not for me? And then which route are you going to be taking on there? Wouldn't you say, Rebecca?
Absolutely. Yeah, ask away. That's what we're here for.
That's all right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, guys. Be sure to give it a massive like to help out more accounting students. And as well, we'll see you for another video soon. So thank you very much and best of luck.